So guys, this episode brought to you by Scottish Grappling. Not really much to say at the moment about Scottish Grappling or anything that's going on because obviously we're stuck in a lockdown. Obviously we did have the, supposed to have the Glasgow Open this weekend, but obviously that has been cancelled because of coronavirus lockdown. So yeah, not much to say. I mean, keep an eye out on the Scottish Grappling Facebook page, obviously the Scottish Jiu-Jitsu community page as well, so there will be updates obviously as soon as James and Gary know what's going on with the lockdown, then everybody else will know, so we'll all be updated in due course when we do get some information. So obviously they do have events still going to be, hopefully going to be on for the rest of the year. We're hoping it's not going to be too long before obviously we get everything back. But obviously James and Gary will be working, as soon as we're back to normal, they'll be working tirelessly to try and get something put in place in regards to a competition, whether it be SGIs or whether it be local competitions. So I know the Glasgow Open, he'll be looking to reschedule that, so we'll just get a date for that when it happens. So hi guys, welcome to StoomCast. So today joined by a good friend of mine, Frazer Hirsch. Frazer is fights out of Origins Jiu-Jitsu for his Jiu-Jitsu. Obviously does MMA as well and trains at kind of MMA gyms kind of around the Tayside area as well. Frazer is, I believe, still a blue belt, Frazer, yeah?
Yes.
So still a blue belt at the moment, but obviously that's going to change, obviously at some point in the future for sure. Frazer, as well as doing obviously jiu-jitsu, obviously does MMA as well, so obviously does amateur MMA. He's had a few fights in that. Recently had a fight at On Top in Linwood, and then he was scheduled to have another fight coming up, but obviously with obviously the lockdown and stuff like that, then that's been postponed until obviously a future date. So Frazer, it's an absolute pleasure to have you on. Thanks for taking the time out to speak to me.
No worries. I would like to thank you for inviting me on, Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah. How's obviously get the lockdown out the way, how's the lockdown treating you?
It's brutal. I'm normally up early, 6 in the morning, away to the gym, training, go to my work, come home, train again at night. I like to try and train twice a day, so it's been a bit brutal that way, adjusting to being stuck in the house, but trying to make the most of it, you know what I mean? I'm up, I've got some weights at the in the back garden, I've got my skipping rope, I've been doing a bit of shadow boxing, so I'm just trying to stay positive and trying to keep fit.
Definitely.
I think the diet's been the worst bit. You know what I mean? That's been the hardest bit. Like trying to, every time I walk past the fridge, I think it tells me to F off. What you want to know? You know what I mean? But apart from that, I'm trying to stay positive. I've spent loads of time with the kids and that, so that's been really good. We're I wouldn't have spent as much time with them, so that's been pretty cool, really nice. We're trying to make some memories. We'll look back and say, "Oh, I remember that time we were stuck in the house for weeks. We've done this and that," and so it's been it's been quite hard, but again, there's positives to take from it,
Yeah, definitely. You're a big family man. I mean, anybody that's got Frazer on Facebook, obviously you'll see you are a big family man. Obviously you do like to spend a lot of time with the family, especially after like fights. Obviously I know you guys go out for the kind of meal and stuff like that after that. I saw that after the last fight, so I think family obviously is important to you, but especially at this time, obviously having the family around you and spending time, you're either going to love each other more at the end of this or you're going to hate each other more, so
probably a bit of both, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's one of those ones we're here, so just going to try and make the most of it, you know what I mean? You can moan and grump and groan, but just get on with it,
Yeah.
So like this morning, I did 10 minutes skipping, 10 2-minute rounds skipping, 10 2-minute rounds shadow boxing. So I'm still getting a bit of training in.
Yeah. And you posted up the other day was what your kind of training regime or your training schedule was. I know you put up a kind of wee note just to let people know what exercises you're doing whilst you're in the back garden. Obviously did a couple of videos as well, so
Yeah, just a wee bit of strength and conditioning. It was a wee circuit I did the other day. It was good, got the heart rate up, I was sweating, so, still trying to stay fit. Like you said, I was supposed to fight. I actually had 2 fights lined up. Right. One on Battle Arena, Battle Arena, Scotland. That was the first time. I think they're all over Europe, actually. They run promotions all over Europe. Yeah. And that was the first time they were coming to Scotland, so there was quite a buzz about the show and that, and it was Norwegian guy, a lad from Norway, was supposed to be fighting. He was 5-0, so sounded it was going to be a good fight. Training hard for it. Yeah. And then it was like it got pulled because of obviously everything that's happening. So I'm hoping that's still going to be, once everything gets back to normal, the guy's he's gonna then rerun the show at a later date. So
yeah, I'm pretty sure he will. I mean, Scottish MMA, as you know, Scottish MMA is at a kind of all-time high at the moment. I mean, obviously with the guys in the UFC, guys in Bellator and stuff like that. So it seems like there's a big buzz. There's always been a buzz about Scottish MMA, but at the moment there seems to be an even bigger buzz at the moment.
Yeah, see, it's especially around about the regional amateur scene. It's just stacked. The talent in there's unbelievable. Yeah. Some of these young guys, they're training like pros. They're training twice a day. It's unbelievable the talent that's there, and just it's kind of gutting when you're seeing all the UFCs and the Bellators. There's guys fighting on there and that, but they're not coming to Scotland. Even Cage Warriors. They just didn't seem to. The big shows just didn't seem to want to come here. I don't know why. It's quite gutting. It's a shame.
Yeah. It is. I mean, I remember being at. I'm trying to think who it was. It was Stevie Ray, and I remember Robert Whiteford being on the card as well, and I think it was
2015 UFC, was it?
Yeah, I think it was Michael Bisping was headlining it. I think. So, and I remember being at that, and I always remember Robert Whiteford when he won. The place went mental. Absolutely crazy. People were throwing it was the plastic pint glasses. They were getting thrown in the air, and people were throwing all sorts. Do you know what I mean? And it was just absolutely mental chaos. And then I remember he jumped over the fence into the crowd and all that. Do you know what I mean? It was just madness, and then so I remember that, and that was absolutely mental. And I always remember the commentator saying, "Look, never ever has he been in an arena like that with just that much noise from start to finish, and it was just madness." Do you know what I mean? So I know they always talk about Canada having a big atmosphere, but Scotland, man, we rocked the place that night, man. Do you know what I mean? So
yeah, it's like they even go on about the Irish. The Irish atmosphere, something else. It's like, nah, the Scottish atmosphere, the Scottish fans. It's one of the best in the world. I think. I'm probably a bit biased. Yeah, but. We know how to make an atmosphere, create an atmosphere. Yeah. It would just. I don't know why they're not coming back. It's a shame because all these guys in the regional scene that are trying to climb up that ladder to try and get there. Hopefully in the near future these big shows do start coming back. Yeah. And because I think UFC was supposed to. Was it James Doolan or somebody had mentioned it? Right. He says, they were supposed to be coming in July, and then you seen Thingy getting announced, Ireland getting announced, and it's like they're not going to go to Ireland and then come to Scotland. They're not going to come to Scotland and then go to Ireland. So
nah, definitely not.
You know what I mean? It's like kind of gutting, but I think if they just the talent just keeps exploding the way it is, they can't ignore us forever.
Yeah. They'll definitely come. I mean, obviously, they're going to have a backlog of shows that they're going to need to fill up as well. Now all this carry on going on, you just don't know what's going to happen. Yeah. So hopefully in the near future we'll see them back, and we'll see obviously a few more Scottish guys on the UFC. Roster. So for you, Frazer, I mean, jiu-jitsu. So when did you start getting into martial arts and jiu-jitsu especially?
It was like believe it or not, I actually done a bit of wrestling years ago. Backhold wrestling, High On Games wrestling. I don't know if you've seen it on my Facebook and that.
Yes.
I've done that for years, since I was like a kid, 12. Really good fun, you know what I mean? And then 2000 and when was it, 14, there was a wee MMA gym opened up just along the road from us. And I was at the stage where I wanted to get into something. I'd wanted to actually get into grappling 2008, 2009, and I went along to a local gym and enjoyed it. Went to a few sessions, but at that time my twins had just been born.
Yeah.
I just started up my own business, so time was like, I just didn't have the time to do it. And I'm one of those guys. If I'm going to do something, it's done right, and I've put 100% effort into it.
Yeah.
And at that time, young family. My other daughter was 4. The twins came along. I started my own business, so my life was kind of crazy. I just never had the time. So, right around about 2014, with the gym opening along the road through my house, and my business up and running for a number of years, the kids were getting older, and it was like, you know what, it's time now to do it. It's like now or never, eh?
Yeah.
Because what I'm 36 this year, eh? So I've been 30, just about 30 then.
Yeah.
2014. So it was like, it's now or never. I need to, if I didn't get into it now, it's nothing's going to happen. So it just kind of blossomed from there. I started doing, a bit of striking, MMA, and then the coach was like, "Do you want to fight?" So it was like, "Yeah, fuck it, why not?" so I was like, then. So obviously I hadn't done any gi stuff for that then. It was just like kind of more no gi stuff for MMA.
Yeah.
And that, and then it was March 2015. I fought, got fucking battered. Got battered. Stopped in the first round, ground and pound.
Yeah.
So it was a bit of an experience. So after that, I was like, right, fuck, this is, I need to get right into this, and I put, even more, did more training and stuff, and started getting better, believe it or not. But then I never fought again until that was 2015. It was like 2000. What happened? I fought. Then I did the Smart tournament up in Aberdeen. It's like a rookie MMA tournament. And there was all 10. It's quite good, loads of first time guys, or guys that maybe like myself. I just had one fight. There was no punches on the ground, so you had to work your grappling and stuff.
Yeah.
That was 2017, beginning of 2017, and I broke my hand.
Right.
So and then at that event I'd seen Grant Cruikshank from Origin.
Yeah.
He was judging. He was like, "Oh, I'm running a class on a Sunday, gi class. Why don't you come along?" So I was like, "Oh yeah, that sounds cool." I says, "Yeah, fuck it. Let's go and do a bit of gi stuff." But obviously I'd had a broken hand, so it wasn't until the June of that year, 2017. 2017, I went along and just got involved, like.
Yeah.
And so then started doing the gi from there. 2017. It was good, different experience. It was like no gi grappling, but there was loads of fucking handles.
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Guys choking you out with the lapel and stuff, and cross collar chokes, and it was like, fuck. It was a great experience. I loved it, and just from there, been training the gi ever since. And some of the MMA guys I trained were like, "Oh fuck God, I don't like the gi and all that." I love it. It's like, I don't know what to say. I love gi, love no gi. It's just human game of chess, but with a gi and no gi, it's a wee bit different.
Yeah, definitely. It's funny you mentioned as well, you talked about being offered your first MMA fight and you were just like, "Fuck it, let's do this." That seems to be a common thing. See, whenever I talk to anybody that, like amateur MMA guys, or even some professionals, when they say that they were offered their first fight, they're always like, "Aye, fuck it, why not?" Do you know what I mean? Whereas obviously you go other places and they're offered a fight and they're like, "Oh, I don't know, I've only been training fucking 6 months or whatever." Whereas Scottish guys, we'll throw ourselves in with like a week's training and all that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, totally. It was just, like I say, I'm no spring chicken. I'm not saying I'm a spring chicken. I'm not old, but for the, for the, that kind of, the sport that we do, MMA, is fucking old. Like, you know what I mean? You're getting matched up. I'm getting matched up against guys that are 20, 22 years old. So I'm old in that sense. Like, so it was like, fuck it, why not? And do you know what? It was kind of good getting to get thrown in there at the deep end. Didn't know what to expect, and and it was some fucking, as much as I got battered, it was some experience, like,
Yeah, yeah.
and it was great, and I was like, oh, fuck, I want to do more of this, I want to get better, and it did, like, you know what I mean, and it was, like I say, I got injured, I broke my hand, then I got into jiu-jitsu, then I was supposed to fight the end of that year, I fucking tore my hamstring.
Yeah.
So it wasn't until March 2018 I got back in there. I was on Top Show, I think, fought a guy. I won that one. I fought 4 times in 2018, so it was really, really good. I never picked up any serious injuries. I can't remember. Maybe we've done some grappling competitions. I think I might. It was Hicks and Gracie. It was 2018 or.
Yeah, Hicks and Gracie.
First Hicks and Gracie. So I did that. I was still a white belt then. Yeah. When that was round, and that was good. I think I won gold at that, but I'd entered the. I wish now I'd entered the adult category rather than masters. Don't get us wrong; it was still pretty tough. Yeah. But you know, there's guys like Paddy and all that were in the adult category rather than I could enter the masters because it was over 30. Like. Yeah. Yeah. And then I'm like, fuck! I wish I'd entered that. But it's what it is. It was a great competition, great experience. Yeah, yeah. Obviously, with doing the MMA, it's like, fuck, I would love to do more grappling competitions, but you're kind of like, I'm focusing on the fight. I've got a fight coming up, so I think once, in a few years' time, when I can't fight or I get too old for it, I'll probably compete a lot more. Yeah. In the grappling side of things, Yeah, yeah. Definitely. And I remember the first time I seen you, we were talking about this before we came on, was at the Checkmate Interclub. And as I said, I was fortunate I got to referee, I think a few of your fights. So, but I always remember the first one you came up against a blue belt from Checkmate Edinburgh, Craig Sieber. Now, Craig's a really good jiu-jitsu guy. Obviously, you know the guys that train there, like Dav Bain and Jamie and all that. And Big Ross, so basically you came in and I said it was like demolished them, do you know what I mean? Because you scored a lot of points, do you know what I mean? And you were always going for different positions and trying to go for submissions and things like that. But again, I said as well that was probably a credit to Craig as well, because Craig was recovering positions. Totally, yeah. You just happened to just kept advancing and just the pressure you put on him, do you know what I mean? So and yeah, when you looked at the scoreboard at the end, it was an absolute demolition, do you know what I mean? So was that something that you had worked on in your game, to always be first and always pressure? Yeah, that's my game, pressure and aggression. And I'm quite strong. I like to use my strength a lot. Yeah. Along with technique as well. Yeah. But I like to be aggressive. I like to, pressure. I love using pressure on people because a lot of people fucking hate being pressurized. Like Yeah. And it was like when you seen the scoreboard. I didn't even know what the score was till after because I think I was always hunting the submission. You were. And I think it was like 10 seconds to go or something, and then I managed to sub him. I think it might have been a Kimura. Right. Yeah. I think I might have Kimura done me like 10 seconds to go. And I think it was yourself that turned around and showed me the phone and says, fuck's sake, there was only 10 seconds to go. I never even knew. And then I seen the scoreboard, it was like 23-1 or something, or whatever the fuck it was. Like, it was a great match, taking nothing away from Craig. Like you said, he recovered positions, and I just seemed to move and pick up points. I just kept changing my position. Yeah, I think the scoreboard as well missed a few points. Do you know what I mean? So although it might have been 23 or something, but because the points were racking up very quickly, so I was putting up like 2, 4, 3. Do you know what I mean? Whatever points I was putting up, and I'm looking at this because obviously you knew that the scoreboard, it was a manual scoreboard. Do you know what I mean? So it wasn't the digital ones that you see like Scottish grapplings and obviously the Hicks and Gracie Cups and all that. So I was depending on when I put the points up, that the person behind the scoreboard was putting the points on manually. Yeah. So obviously I'm pretty sure there was a lot of points missed out in that fight. So possibly. But that was the first time I got to see you, and I'd say that was, for me, looking at it, I love like pressure, and you were technical because the way you transitioned from move to move and was absolutely beautiful to watch. Do you know what I mean? So
So I love that kind of stuff. Do you know what I mean? Somebody just come in and just demolishing somebody, just absolutely smashing somebody to the point where, because obviously the boy Craig, as I said, he is really, really good jiu-jitsu guy, but for your game, he had absolutely nothing. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that kind of stuff, I love watching fights like that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like, when I go on that mat or in that cage, like, it's fucking kill or be killed,
Yeah.
It's like, he's no my pal. I would, even if my brother was at the other side of the cage, I'd still have the same attitude. No, you know what I mean? It's like, kill or be killed, and then afterwards, I always like to shake hands, and,
Yeah.
I'm not a dick that way or whatever, but, and when you step in there, those whatever many rounds or however many minutes you're on there,
Yeah.
I fucking want to take that guy's head off.
Yeah.
That's the kind of attitude I've got. It's just kill or be killed.
Yeah. That's definitely that's the way you've got to be. It's a martial art at the end of the day. Do you know what I mean? So, do you know what I mean? Our job is to go out there and beat that guy by any means necessary. Do you know what I mean? Whether it be a submission, whether it be on points, whether it be whatever, however you end the fight, whether in jiu-jitsu or MMA. I mean, your main job is to win the fight. So and you're right. I mean, at the end of it, everybody, do you know what I mean? We all shake hands, give each other a hug. Do you know what I mean? We're talking about after it and stuff like that. So it's a proper gentleman thing that we do as well. So it's not like boxing. I mean, you see the guys in boxing or fucking, do you know what I mean, arguing with each other and press conferences where they're giving each other shit and all that. Do you know what I mean? MMA is like that, but that's again, that's how MMA was built up. So
I don't know. I'm not like that. Even MMA, obviously, it's only amateur and that we do. I've never be, trying to give people shit on Facebook before a fight and that. It's like, fuck off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're going to see what I'm all about once you get in that cage. Like, so
definitely.
You see some of the guys doing it. Obviously, they're trying to build the hype up.
Yeah.
But it's like, always, even afterwards, I'll go into the changing room and win or lose, I'll shake the guy's hand and get a photo of him, you know what I mean? And just say a wee blather, like, I'm not a fucking dick that way.
Yeah.
But it's like that. I think it probably, if people go on about how martial arts and it can be brutal and whatnot, I think I've met some of the nicest folk in the jiu-jitsu and MMA, like, so... But yeah, I find it can be quite respectful, you know what I mean? Really respectful.
Yeah. I mean, you are right. I mean, some of the nicest people I've ever met in my life have been people that have tried to strangle me. Do you know what I mean? And I'll continue meeting, obviously, good people that are trying to strangle me as I go throughout my journey, obviously. So,
of course.
And people always look at it, I mean, whether it be MMA or jiu-jitsu or whatever, and always look at it from outside that don't know anything about it, and they always look in thinking, do you know what I mean? Like, why are you doing that? Do you know what I mean? And they look at us as animals or hooligans, do you know what I mean? Or the bad guys, do you know what I mean? And that's not the case.
Totally, no, it's definitely not the case, until, I think, not even just now, it still gives off that bad vibe sometimes.
Yeah.
Or what if people ask you what you do, I never ever say cage fighting.
Yeah.
It's always mixed martial arts.
Yeah.
And then, because, you say cage fighting, they think you're a thug or something, and it's like, no, it's like, if you really knew what went on, or, the training and stuff you had to do, and the skill level you've got to have, it's like totally no brutal at all. It can be brutal, but, it's not the way they think you're a thug and a hooligan kind of thing.
Yeah. Because again, people looking in, they only see that 5 minutes or 10 minutes or 15 minutes, 3 rounds, 5 rounds or whatever.
Yeah.
That's all they see. They don't see
hours spent in the gym, they didn't see that side of it.
Yeah. Missing family gatherings, birthdays, do you know what I mean? And whatever, if you're having to be in the gym training and stuff like that. So can you go out for a meal with the family before training, whilst you're training, because obviously you're having to watch your weight and stuff like that. So obviously the weight cut as well, so they don't see that. They just see two guys in there, whether they're trying to choke each other or smash each other, whatever. So so there's a lot of dedication goes into obviously MMA, especially MMA MMA the most. So but obviously with jiu-jitsu as well, I mean, the number of hours that we all spend on the mats doing one move, do you know what I mean? So just over and over and over again. So So obviously you're at Origins. So who's your kind of main coaches? Who's the guys that you learn from?
So I learned from is Grant Cruikshank. He's the head coach.
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of weird because Origin there's like so DMMA, the Origin train out with DMMA as well, and then there's various locations throughout Dundee. Barry, I think it's Billy. Billy, what's Billy's second name? Billy Beckers.
Yeah.
And Barry. I'm forgetting his name now. Oh, what's Barry's second name? That's terrible. I can't remember. So Billy and Barry, they're the coaches there at DMMA. I sometimes go along there to the Jits classes, and then Grant Cruikshank, he's my main coach. He's they train at various different places throughout Dundee as well. Yeah. So Grant, and then Ewan Sloan was running a class as well, but he stopped it. So they're kind of that's where I'm learning my my gi jiu-jitsu, and then Grant's also up at the gym, up at the MMA gym up in Forfar. Yeah, he trained on a Saturday as well. So there's every night you could, except Saturday night, I think you could train jiu-jitsu. You know what I mean?
Yeah. If
you really wanted to in the area, just going to the different gyms and stuff.
Yeah.
So Grant's my main coach.
So it's good that you've got that amount of classes, that you've got the availability to do, and as well as that, I mean, as you mentioned, obviously you do your training at the house and things like that as well. So and you're always. I
didn't really train at the house normally. Yeah. I'm only just doing it with this lockdown and that on because I can't train. But yeah, like you could go to a class every night. Yeah. If you really wanted to,
And then what about your travels? I mean, where have you been on your travels for obviously training? So obviously we know you're training in Dundee. So if you ever get out and about or even go on a holiday or something like that, have you been anywhere?
Yeah. So I like to been to a few places. I've been down to Braveheart, Stevie Ray's gym, rode with him and that. Yeah. Been down to Mops, Craig McIntosh's a couple of times. Went down to the open mat at higher level in between Christmas and New Year there. That was really good. Where else have we been? Up north, been a couple of been at HMAC and that. Yeah. No, before it was HMAC. What was it? It was SBG Inverness up at Ross's. Yeah. Guys up in Frazer, have been up there sparring and stuff. Where else have we been? Gracie Bar of Dundee, have been there went in there once or twice for a roll. Yeah. Know the new one before Darren opened up his new place. Yeah. Where else have we been locally? I can't think about it. I don't know. That's all the ones locally I can think of then. Yeah. I was down south, I've been it's Lakes BJJ or something they call it, Kendall.
Oh yeah, under Sam K.
Sam K, yeah.
Yeah. So good guy.
Yeah, I was there. That was a number of years ago. I was still a white belt when I was down there. Yeah. He's phenomenal. I rode with him, phenomenal. I didn't think he was a black belt then. Yeah. I think he was still a brown belt, but unbelievable. Even because he's the first disabled black belt in the UK. Yeah. Because he's got his hand or something on his arm, like, he was phenomenal. Like, even with his disability, it was like, holy fuck.
Yeah, he fought. First time I seen Sam was 2014. He fought one of my teammates at Grab and Pool Liverpool Open, and the person that he fought was a boy Chris Kildare, and Chris Kildare was a pain in the arse to roll with. Do you know what I mean? And he was a pain in the arse, not just to roll with, but to obviously be in his corner and trying to coach him as well. Do you know what I mean? Because it depends on what Chris turned up. See, if he couldn't be bothered, he wouldn't give a fuck. He would go on the mat and just pull guard and just lie there with the person in his guard.
And you'd be shouting like, guard pullers.
Yeah, you'd be shouting like, Chris, fucking do something, man. He'd be like, no, I'm not doing it. And he'd be looking over at you like, shaking his head like, I'm not doing anything. I'm not doing nothing. So he fought Sam, and it was an absolute brilliant match, and Sam won. And at that point, Chris was an absolutely brilliant blue belt. Obviously, he's retired now. So, well, when I say retired, he's not been at the gym for a while. I think he's been playing, I can't remember what game it is on fucking the PlayStation for the last couple of years. So, but yeah, he beat Chris, and I remember ever since that day, as I'd obviously become friends with him. He trained at previously was GB Preston, Gracie Baja Preston. So I got to know him through obviously the Preston guys, and then got to go down to his gym. Gym's a nice setup as well, really nice setup. Obviously the weights and all that, the exercise equipment down the
Where's
stairs.
that? Down in Ayrshire, is it?
Down at Kendal. So the one you went to. So his gym's an absolutely beautiful setup. Do you know what I mean? And
Where's Sam's gym?
aye. So,
Yeah. Like I say, I've been there. Yeah. Because you got the weights and all that down the stairs, and then the matted area up the stairs.
Yeah. So really nice.
It's dragging down there, eh?
Yeah. And it's obviously set in a nice place as well. Kendall's, obviously the Lake District's a beautiful place as well. Obviously, if you're down there with family or whatever. So yeah, nice guy. And as you mentioned, he got his black belt. I think 2018, if I'm right.
Was it
2018 or maybe early last year? So and as you mentioned, the first disabled black belt that I can think of in the UK. I don't think there is any other ones. And so yeah, nice guy, really nice guy. And then obviously your competitions, jiu-jitsu wise. So you mentioned obviously the Hickson Cup. You did that as a white belt.
I've not done huge amounts of competitions like the Scottish grappling ones or anything like that. It's been more, just obviously we've been training more MMA, focusing on that. But I've done like some of the smaller wee competitions, like the Checkmate once. I'd been to the previous wee competition at Checkmate, couple up north and stuff like that. So just kind of smaller ones.
Yeah, and then obviously the SGI as well.
Yeah, I was on SGI. It was Jamie Gardner.
Yeah, this is the fight that I remember being on the podcast with James McIntyre and James saying, yeah, I think there's a bit of bad blood between the two of them. And then obviously the conversation just went on saying, oh, well, it's going to be bad blood. This should be interesting. And I remember you and Jamie were like, bad blood? What bad blood?
No. What had happened was I'd fought one of Jamie's teammates at MMA.
Yeah.
Back in 2018.
Yeah.
And ever since then, me and Jamie were supposed to fight at the, there was that big, the big huge competition in Glasgow, or the one, what was it called now? I think it's the UK BJJA one, was it? Is that what it was?
Oh yeah, was the one that was in Ravenscraig? It was like November
in Glasgow.
or December time. Yeah.
I took terribly no well, and I had to pull out. But we had both entered and we were still white belts, and then we both got promoted about the same time. Yeah. To blue.
Yeah.
So we were supposed to fight each other at that, and it never happened. And then I think we were at another competition, and Jamie was supposed to be there and he never turned up. I can't remember, so it was like, right, SGI, let's fucking, he was messaging me, come on, let's do it.
Yeah.
And then they set it up. James McIntyre set it up, and it was like, let's do this. And obviously, yourself and James must have thought, because both of us are kind of from MMA gyms and whatnot, we're wanting to kill each other, like, but...
Because as soon as James said it, he was just like, there's obviously, I think there's a bit of bad blood between the two of them, and I was like, I don't know, I've never, because obviously like the community as a whole, MMA and jiu-jitsu in Scotland is very closely connected.
Everybody knows everybody, you know.
So you kind of know who doesn't like who, and who's having arguments or fighting with whoever, and that's why I was like, but obviously I was like, okay, James, and we went with it, and then obviously you guys came on after it like that. What bad blood?
What are you on
about? So obviously you got your taste at SGI. What did you think, obviously, being on that platform?
Yeah, it was good. I'd been before. I'd been to one of my teammates had fought on it before, so I kind of knew what the setup and that was. And it's pretty cool. Some really good matches and stuff.
Yeah.
And that, and then being on it as well was really good.
Yeah.
Thoroughly enjoyed it. You know, I was supposed to fight on the last one, but again, I ended up getting tonsillitis and had to pull out. Kind of gutted.
Yeah.
I was supposed to. I got an opponent change like a week before. Can't remember. The first guy was Craig somebody. I think Andrew Marley had fought him, but the one I'd fought Jamie on.
Right. Oh, Craig Leroyd.
Leroy, yeah, I was supposed to fight him, and then he had got injured or something, and then who was in my replacement? Cameron Comrie, I think his name was.
Cammy, I can't remember where Cammy fights out of.
And then I think he got, because obviously I had tonsillitis, I had to pull out. I probably could have went on, but I was like, nah, I'm not 100%. Fuck that.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. But Big Adam Adam Hill fought.
Yeah.
So I was kind of gutted I missed that. So hopefully in the future, if any of those two guys are, game, let's do it. Let's get it set up for the next SGI.
Definitely.
Hopefully once this carry on's finished.
Yeah, I know that James had one set up for, I think, July, but obviously that is dependent on what we're going to be doing with this lockdown, because obviously it's a bit of a nightmare just now, but it's obviously it's necessary. So
totally.
But yeah, I mean, obviously James, the SGIs would suit you because of the type of jiu-jitsu, especially what I seen you at the Checkmate Inner Club, because obviously you like to have that aggression and push the fight and go for submissions and all that. So the SGI, I feel, would suit you. I
prefer to sub only like the SGIs. You know what I mean? Because you're not hunting the points. Like even at the Checkmate one, where I think it was me and Paddy in the final, and we kind of knew both each other's games and that, and just with, I feel like it was a close match, but Paddy, I think he won 4-0 on points. He was, just a wee bit more competition experience than me, I feel, and it was like he got the points and then knew how to win. Where it was like I was, trying to keep going. It was like fuck, I was just got points and then stalled, kind of thing. So Paddy was clever in that sense, and you knew how to win there. Where at SGI, you've got to get the submission, or you've got to be, hunting stuff. You've got to be keep going. You can't just stall, kind of thing. So yeah.
SGI is good. I mean, SGI kind of brings out some of the best guys in Scotland. You see them, you get to see them. Even like young guys as well. The young guys that are coming through, and a lot of these young guys have been training since they were fucking 11 and 12 years old. Yeah, so obviously jiu-jitsu or even MMA moving on into the future is going to be getting even brighter and brighter as the further on.
You see guys coming in younger. The one that stood out for me was the young lad Jay. He's a 16-year-old lad. He was 15 or 16. He was at the Checkmate competition as well.
Yeah, Jay,
he's just a young lad.
I think
Jay Sharp. Is that his name?
Fights out of Fighters Hive in Bathgate.
Is that where he's from? Yeah. He's like phenomenal for his age and that. Like I think he was still 15, and it might have been the first Checkmate one we went to, and he was like beating men. Yeah. It was like unbelievable. It was like wow.
Yeah.
I wish I started training when I was 10-year-old. You know what I mean?
And the only thing we had back in the day was you could go to karate or something like that.
Judo
but obviously jiu-jitsu, I'm the same as you, man. Jiu-jitsu came for me, or any kind of martial arts came for me later on in life. Do you know what I mean? I think I was about 35, 36 before I took up jiu-jitsu.
Is that right?
So I was quite late on in the game. So I was the same as you. I mean, what I done was I put everything into the first couple of years. Do you know what I mean? So I was going out and doing all sorts of competitions and just building from there. And because I knew, obviously, for me, the closer I get to 40 and 50 and so on, my shelf life's going to be a lot smaller. It's going to be, I'm not going to have a big window to be able to do this stuff. So obviously I want to do it forever. Do you know what I mean? But there's going to come a time where your body's going to say otherwise. So I kind of threw everything into the first couple of years, and then I remember going to competitions, and I'd won my first 7 gold medals. So I won the first 7 competitions. Then I did it back to front. Obviously, everybody's like, yeah, you should go to the Euros, then go to the Worlds. And I remember my coach at the time saying, yeah, you should go to the Worlds, the World Masters. And I was like, yeah, you think so? And he's like, yeah, book it, I'll come with you. So So obviously I went away and booked it, and then a week before he's like, I'm not coming. So I had to go, I had to fucking fly all the way out to California and then Vegas myself. Do you know what I mean? So I was like, fuck. So and I got there, and that was my first loss. I'd lost 4-0 in the first round, and I was gutted.
Was that you
man.
then, was it?
Yeah, it was absolutely gutted me. And I obviously travelled all the way over there. You do the first fight, 5 minutes. Don't get me wrong, it's the atmosphere and where you were like, this is absolutely brilliant. But then that was my first loss. So when I came back, I was like, I'm not competing again, because I took it. See, because I've been winning like everything that I fought for in the UK, like local comps and the IBJJF British and stuff like that. So I wasn't used to getting beat. Do you know what I mean? So and because I'd trained my ass off, I mean, I was working for a bank, and I gave my job up because I was like, I had some savings. I was like, I've got some money set aside, so I'm all right. Do you know what I mean? As a family, we're all right. So my missus was 100% behind me. She's like, look, do it, because if you don't do it now, you're never going to do it.
Yeah.
Right? So she was 100% behind me. She would help with like meal preps and stuff like that, and do like meal plans, and all I had to do was go out and get my ass kicked in the gym, yeah. So, and then go to do the competitions and stuff like that. So when I lost, I felt I'd never let myself down, but I felt I'd let everybody else down. And then obviously the more and more you speak to like your coaches and your teammates and stuff like, you never let anybody down, man. What you done was you went out to the worlds, do you know what I mean? And, or any competition, do you know what I mean? Any competition you go to, do you know what I mean? You're putting yourself on the line. So they always say win or learn, do you know what I mean? And yeah, they are right. So, but I think it's as a competitor, it's you that puts the pressure on yourself. Do you know what I mean? So, like,
you think you're your own worst critic. Like, you know, I am myself. You know, you're always, I should have done this better, could have done this better. You know, but like you say, you live and learn. You just need to get on with
it. Yeah. So that was me. I mean, as I said, I remember I did the SGI the other week there, and I was fighting some big guy from Aberdeen, and it was no gi. Now I train absolutely no gi whatsoever. Do you know what I mean? So I'm a gi guy. I've always been a gi guy. And then obviously the fight came up, and James was like, right, okay, you're in, and I was like, brilliant. And then I went in, and on the feet felt comfortable. I pulled half guard, so I went to go for deep half, but I forgot to go for the underhook. And as soon as I fucking did it, then the guy flattened me down. I was like, what? And obviously he was a lot bigger than me, as most of my opponents are. So as soon as I never got the underhook, I was like, fuck. And I'm trying to push his head away, and I was trying to hook under his leg, and then he got the mount, and then he fucking not guillotine, sorry, Ezekiel choked me. Do you know what I mean? So I was like, bastard. But it happens. Do you know what I mean? I went out, enjoyed myself, and I even said to the guy after it, I said, look, see, the next time we'll do it in the gi. Do you know what I mean? And he's like, yeah, listen, definitely. He says, I don't train gi, but I know you don't train no gi, so it'll be good to give you one back. Do you know what I mean?
Return the favour, eh?
Yeah, so, and he was quite happy because he come down from Aberdeen, so he was just happy to come down, and he had somebody to fight.
I get a match.
Yeah, because nothing worse than turning up when your fucking opponent doesn't turn up or something. Do you know what I mean? So, so what about you then? What we obviously when this lockdown's over, what's the plans for you, Frazer?
Well, my goal was to fight 5 times this year. Yeah. Well, obviously I fought on top. Fought on top there in March. Good win. Fucking quite. I kind of, like I say, I'm my own worst critic. I felt it was kind of a boring fight, but we had a game plan. Yeah. And you know, I stuck to it, and I won the fight. Like
that was a tough fight for you as well.
Tough as fuck, man. The guy was, he was huge. He was like 7 foot tall, man. He was, good big. What was his name? Dave Slatterly from down Ayrshire way. Yeah. Big guy, good Muay Thai, really, really good Muay Thai. I knew if I stood in front of him and banged, he would have fucking knocked me out. Like, he had heavy hands, and he caught us in the last 10 seconds of the fight. I kind of knew I had won the fight. Yeah. I won the first 2 rounds definitely. I should have subbed him in the first round, but I fucked that up. I had a Kimura and I should have subbed him, but it's another story. So I kind of let my guard down last 10 seconds, and he fucking went for it and landed 4 good shots, and my fucking face was out to here, like, but nah, good, tough fight, like, so, like I say, 5 fights this year I wanted to fight. I had that one. I had another 2 lined up. I had one at the we touched on it earlier, Battle Arena, Scotland, and I had one down at the Almighty Fighting Championships in Liverpool lined up. But again, that was the end of May. That's all been cancelled. Just due to this carry on just now. But so we'll see what happens once this lockdown gets over. So you know the first available opportunity to get to fight. You know, like I say, if I keep my fitness training up and stuff, weight training up at the house, hopefully 4 or 5 weeks once this is out, you know, I'll be able to get a fight lined up.
Yeah, definitely.
And then just from there, see how it goes. I'm obviously jiu-jitsu wise, if any competitions come up, we'll just have to see how, you know, how it's going to work out in between the fights. Kind of thing. Like I say, I'm kind of the next few years I'm going to obviously be focusing more on competing in MMA. And then I think, like I say, once that's over, I'll get right into competing in jiu-jitsu. But just now, while I'm fit and able, it's, you know, kind of going to be more MMA focused.
Definitely.
Where I want to see myself going in the future, or just, you know, one fight at a time kind of thing. But I want to get on like Cage Warriors Academy, still amateur. I'm not, you know, either the Cage Warriors undercard, amateur undercard, or the Cage Warriors Academy. One of them. That's, you know, that's where I want to see myself in the next year or so, fighting on the, you know, the bigger regional shows down south and stuff. And then I don't know, like, but people saying, "Oh, you're going to turn pro and all that," and it's like, man, have you ever been elbowed in the head? You ever been kneed in the head? It's like, I don't know, like. But I think, you know, I'm probably going to have to, you know, at least say, oh, I've had one pro fight. You know, just go for it. See what happens, like. But you know, in the next few years, I'm kind of going to be done, I would reckon, and then we'll just see what happens.
I mean, you're still young. You're still young enough. I mean, you said what, 36 year old?
36 this year, and I'm probably fitter and stronger than I've ever been, even in my 20s. You know, just because I had other things going on in life. But yeah, like I say, most of my opponents they're fucking like 10 years younger than us. You know, so. See what happens.
See when you look at, I always remember years ago, Randy Couture. And he was what, mid 40s? Do you know what I mean? He was what his last fight? I'm sure he was about 47, 48 year old. Do you know what I mean? And I remember he fought big Brock Lesnar. Do you know what I mean? Brock Lesnar obviously being like 10, 15 years younger than him, and can outweighed him by, I can't remember, I think it was like 30 or 40 pounds. Do you know what I mean? So and he went in, and I always remember his nickname, Father Time. Do you know what I mean? Because so yeah, I mean, and he, as I said, and he didn't start until, I'm sure he was like mid 30s before he started actually doing MMA. Obviously, he had the wrestling and all that before that. So, but yeah, he didn't really move into MMA until like mid 30s. So you've got a few years on him, Frazer.
Yeah, because you know what, I'm just going to continue and see how it goes. You know what I mean? Like I say, if the opportunity comes up, and like I say, I probably need to do one pro fight at least, but I'm happy, you know, enjoy the amateur side of things, and it's good, you know, it's good fun. It's good, you know, what I like the self-discipline. It's like, right, you've got a fight coming up, right, you've got to get up in the morning and do your strength and conditioning, 6 o'clock in the gym training, right, we'll go and work that day, finish, you know, you've got to be strict with yourself, the diet's got to be strict, you know, and then you've got to go and train at night, and I like the self-discipline side of it, you know, and even, you know, I like the whole, I enjoy training, you know, and then the training of it changes as you get closer to a fight, you're working game plan stuff, you know, and I enjoy the whole process, and then you get the weight cut, and then fight day, and then, you know, just the whole process I enjoy, like, you know.
It's an absolute buzz, man. I mean, that is an absolute buzz.
And then you can get fat for the week, 2 weeks after it. You just eat a lot of shite, and then pick yourself back up and get back into the gym. You know what I mean? It's
And then
good fun.
what about the family? What do they feel? Because obviously I'm pretty sure the family will be proud seeing you going out and do all this stuff, but...
Oh, yeah, like the whole family's been in a couple of fights. Some of them, like the on tops and that, they're over 18, so the kids obviously can't come.
Yeah.
But no, they totally support me 100%.
Yeah.
My wife, she was doing all my meals and all that, and I thought, you know what, she runs a bit daft for the kids and everything. I thought, make her life a bit easier, and I went out and I ordered meal prep and I told her, and she went absolutely daft. What you fucking doing? I've been looking after your meals, are you not good enough and all that? And I'm like, no, I've been trying to, make your life a wee bit easier.
Yeah.
So she went fucking daft. So no, she looks after all my meals and everything. She's amazing cook, like, yeah. So
yeah.
The family love it, and like the few fights the kids and that have been, they love coming along.
Yeah.
Love the atmosphere and stuff. And totally 100% supportive behind us. I couldn't do it without my family.
Definitely.
Without their support,
Definitely. And again, a lot of people as well forget that as well. That a lot of us have got. Obviously, there's guys out there that do this that are single, and but there's a lot of guys out there that have got families and they've got daytime jobs. Obviously, work hard Monday to Friday or Saturday, Sunday, or whatever. And as you said, getting up early in the morning to go and training later at night as well. And then getting up the road, maybe spending a couple hours with the family, and then doing the same thing the next day, and so on and so on. So,
well, always trying to spend one day a week. It's normally a Saturday, just kind of family day. And, obviously sometimes it does the workout like that every week, but we always try and spend one day. Yeah. To try and you need that family time. Definitely,
it's important. It is important. So, and then for you, I mean, if it wasn't for martial arts or jiu-jitsu or anything that you're doing, what would you be doing, Frazer?
Fuck knows. I don't know. I really don't know what I'd be. I don't know. It's just, couldn't say. I just couldn't say. That is kind of, because it is more like, I don't like saying this, so it's a lifestyle, but it kind of is, what I mean, but the martial art kind of thing, it is. Yeah. But I really don't know what I'd be doing.
And what about people as well? So the last thing for you then, anybody because obviously it's been a good few years, but anybody that you can pick out that you want to say thank you to, or even anybody that's coming up that you know of that we need to look out for as well.
Obviously, I'd like to thank all my coaches. My strength and conditioning coach, Carl Owens, my MMA coaches, George Bertie and Chris Cowney, my Jits coaches, Grant, Sloaney and Barry, and then just obviously all my training partners, because you can't do it without any of your training partners. Yeah. Without them, you couldn't have trained, up and coming guys. Like I say, I'm not totally in the total BJJ scene, but I don't know that wee guy Jay. I'd love to see him in a few years. Yeah. He really caught my eye. I thought, wow, because he was so young, and then he was like, he was beating men, and that was brilliant. But that's it, really.
No, listen, it's been absolutely spot on, Frazer. Listen, obviously it's a pleasure to get you on. As I said, I've been looking forward to speaking to you on this. As I said, I've had a few people, obviously I mentioned earlier, obviously you're quite popular in Dundee. So obviously popular throughout Scotland, don't get me wrong, but obviously the Dundee guys always have good things to say about you. Patrick Rowan, obviously, is one of your kind of biggest supporters as well.
Yeah, so. Paddy's a great guy, great, good BJJ practitioner, fighter, whatever you want to call it. Paddy's good. Yeah. But yeah, it's been pretty cool. I've been actually waiting to go on. I think we were supposed to come on a week ago or so, and I've just been busy. I was busy. I think you were busy, and so there's a positive to take out this coronavirus lockdown. Managed to get on the podcast.
Definitely.
Yeah.
No, listen, it's been an absolute pleasure. Hopefully, I'd say this lockdown, hopefully it doesn't go on for too much longer and we can all get back to it. And then, I'd say I'll be up in Dundee, kind of visiting family and stuff like that anyway. So anytime I'm up, I'll give you a shout
Yeah.
if you're training. We'll come in and get a few rounds and stuff like that.
Definitely, I'd love to come down to you guys. It's Marcus Nardini, isn't it?
Marcus Nardini, yeah. So,
yeah.
listen, you're always welcome, yeah. Always welcome.
Yeah, not here. Next time I'm down Glasgow, West Coast way, I'll definitely give you a shout and pop in and get a few rolls on the go, you know what I mean?
Nice one, brother. Nice one. All right, so well, listen, thank you again.
Yeah. No, thank you.
You enjoy the rest of the lockdown.
Yeah, you too.
All right, brother. Take it
All
easy.
right, cheers. Sure, thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye. So, guys, that was Frazer Hirsch. Frazer is, as I mentioned, obviously amateur MMA fighter. Frazer, also a blue belt in Jiu-Jitsu under Origins in Dundee. So, as he mentioned there, obviously been training a few years now. Obviously MMA, kind of more so because obviously he's obviously doing his amateur MMA fights and so on at the moment, and then obviously he mentioned obviously he is doing jiu-jitsu as well, just to kind of complement the MMA, or to go along with the MMA, should I say. So Frazer, as I mentioned, as I say, when I first seen him in comps, was aggressive and he pushed the fight and he kept going for submissions, and an absolute dream match to watch because as I said, it wasn't the fact that he won by a lot of points, because obviously it was a good fight, because obviously Craig Sieber, his opponent, as I say, just kept either retaining guard or kept trying to kept getting positions back. And I remember speaking to Craig after it and saying, because Craig had said to me, fuck, I just got hammered there, and I was like, well, not really. The way you can look at it is, or the way you're going to look at it is, you were doing everything to regain position. It's just Frazer was advanced in position and so on. So it's difficult sometimes. I mean, when you're in a fight and the person that you're fighting is that aggressive, that they're just pushing forward all the time, and no matter what you do, when you regain position or attempt to regain position, by the time you've regained position, they're already moving. So it was one of them fights where I say it was beautiful to watch. Do you know what I mean? It's just Frazer's transition from position to position, and just kept moving and kept trying to submit, and really a high energy fight. And again, you forget, I mean, he would have been about 35 at the time, probably 36 at that time. So, and he just had that energy. And as he mentioned, he's in the shape of his life at the moment. So he just had that energy and just kept going and going and going. So, and then obviously the SGI, obviously had a fight in the SGI. He was supposed to have a fight at the last SGI, but obviously had to pull out due to ill health. So we're definitely going to hear and see more from Frazer in the future, and obviously the Origins guys as well at competitions. So yeah, buzzing to see. I see Frazer's definitely, after watching that fight, definitely one of my kind of favourite kind of jiu-jitsu fighters in Scotland. 'Cause I love that pressure. I mean, that's what I try and build my game on. So when I'm on top, when I'm advancing position and passing guard, and I always like to try and move quickly, and obviously apply that pressure as well as I'm doing it. So yeah, definitely one of my favourite fighters in jiu-jitsu in Scotland. So as I say, definitely hear and see more from Frazer in the future. So guys, listen, thank you very much for listening. Obviously under different circumstances, obviously with the lockdown, nobody knows how long it's going to last for. We were told 3 weeks originally. Obviously they're talking about June now, so hopefully it doesn't last too much longer. I mean, obviously everybody will be in their own group chats, their WhatsApp group chats, and I'm pretty sure that's all everybody's talking about, is when are we getting back to the gym, when are we getting back. I know for me, I had a phone call with my coach Marcos the other day, and Marcos is asking me, look, when is this going to stop? And I'm like, I don't know. So it'll stop when it stops. So but yeah, hopefully it won't be too much longer, and we can all get back to choking each other and fucking armbarring each other and doing whatever else submissions that we're doing. because we love it. We absolutely love it. So yeah, again, guys, thank you very much for listening, and we'll see you on the next one.